I'm your host, Queen Evelina, and this is QEB on WQEB 97.3. Guys, we're live at our cafe in Dorville, and right now we're going to be talking to Chef Misty. She specializes in both vegan and seafood. First question, were you always a foodie growing up?
I was always a foodie. Unfortunately, my family had to suffer through that because I was the kid that was like, I don't want to go anywhere but to restaurants and find everything that was new and different.
Okay. Now, were you vegan or pescatarian growing up?
So I wasn't. So growing up, I predominantly tried any and everything that I could. Anything that you would think that I wouldn't try, I would try. Found out the things that I hated and found out the things that I loved. And then it was some things that I was like just scared to try. Cause like, you know how you get them stories, them little horror stories, some horror stories is real.
Very real.
And then as I started to grow and develop as I got older, I ended up just trying everything. It was like if it was different, I was trying it. And it was like my grandfather just reminded me, it was like, yeah, you as a kid, I would say, hey, let's go shopping. You're like, let's go to a restaurant and find food. So that was just a normal thing for me.
Okay. Where did your love of cooking come from?
Honestly, my grandmother.
Classic.
Yeah, when I was younger, I remember like being in middle school, dancing around like Thanksgiving, just randomly trying food. She would bake different cakes and different desserts and had me try things that I never thought I would do. And I got to learn to do everything from scratch, which helped develop me as a person. And at that time, I just thought it was just something just to be like, oh yeah, I'm just trying this, just learning this. And I was always getting the bowl. You know, yeah, you got to get the desserts. I'll give me the bowl and the whip. I don't care about anything else. And then I'm eat the food afterwards. So I was that kid.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, how did you make the transition into vegan food? Because back in the day, it used to be vegetarian, but now it's vegan. We've taken it a step further.
We have. So basically, what ended up happening with me was at 9 years old, I actually became allergic to milk. And I didn't understand too much of it. And growing up, I was the kid that was like, hey, I'm still going to eat ice cream even though I'm not supposed to. Hey, I'm still going to eat these cheeses even though I'm not supposed to. And as I got older and I started to realize, like, man, this stuff is really hurting my body. Like, it was making me sick and everything. I started finding out, like, when I went to culinary school, like, hey, there's other alternatives you can do, like oatmeal, almond milk. So from there, I started to like dabble into it, but I didn't know what it was called. And someone was like, "Hey, you know you do vegan food, right?" And I'm like, "What do you mean?" And so I'm in culinary school, clueless. Like, what do you mean vegan food? I'm just like, I can't do dairy, I can't do meat products, like I can't do certain things. And it ended up working. Like I found my niche, and it helped me. It became helped me get healthier. Sent me on this journey where it was like I fell in love. Like I started creating different elements that you wouldn't think you would try or even eat, and it just helped me develop and grow. And I just started tackling and tackling and tackling more into it. And I was like, my next goal after tackling into it was like anybody that I knew didn't like vegan, I was going to get you to like it.
Okay. So, what is your favorite vegan combination? I say for me, it's tomatoes and spinach. It's like I have to have them together, tomatoes and spinach.
So my favorite vegan combination is I actually do a vegan Alfredo and I make the pasta from scratch. And I do a vegetable melody in it that includes like squash, peppers, and onions, opposed to people doing just the regular basic tomatoes, spinach. I was like, let me do a twist on it. Let me turn it into something where you would think like, oh my God, this is pretty, but it's not what you expect it to be. And I actually tested that here first in Atlanta 3 years ago at the Black History Month networking event, and the whole pan was gone. And I kind of got told by other people, like, why is there no more? And one of the actual people that I ended up vendoring with tried to take the pan. So it was an interesting combination to do it in a different light. And that was like one of my first true vegan dishes that I was like, I owned and I knew I loved. And I was like, let me try this and see how people adapt to it. And people loved it.
Okay. Now, do you do any personal chefing? I know you cater, but
I am also as well a private chef. I go to my clients' houses. I cook for them. I've just actually recently did the Mother's Day brunch for a few of my personal clients. They typically will hire me just to come there and cook, and I enjoy it because it gives me that personal interaction, close to close. Like, they ask questions, I get to teach them, they get to learn. It allows me to open an element of myself that usually I wouldn't be able to do with just catering, because now you get personal, you get to understand your clients, and you know the ins and outs and the things that they love, and you can adapt and adjust the food the way that they would love it, so that way they wouldn't be disappointed.
Okay. Now, what are three vegan eateries, of course, besides Chef Misty, that you would recommend? Because I know chefs love to go out to other restaurants and try the people's food just to kind of, see where it's at. What are three you would recommend?
Slutty Vegan is one of them. I do love her burgers. Like, her Menage a Trois burger is like literally my favorite. Like, I fell in love with it, and the fact that she had like the vegan bacon, vegan shrimp, the combination of it was phenomenal. Another one that I actually surprisingly liked, it was at a diner, Marietta Diner. They actually have a few vegan options on their menu that are really, really good that you wouldn't think. And it is the tomato spinach type of thing that you would actually like.
Oh, okay.
Trying to think, what would be my third? I've been to so many places. Oh, Lord.
I hear a lot about a place called Ticillis. Have you been there?
I have been to Ticillis, and I ended up dropping my food because I ordered to go, and I kind of cried. So that was a hurt piece moment, because I didn't get to enjoy it the way I wanted to. Unfortunately, I'm very clumsy, and it kind of just fell out the car. On its own, I just say it fell out, even though I had like 30 things in my hand. But it's okay. It's okay.
Blame it on the car.
I'm gonna blame it on the car.
Okay.
I'm just gonna blame it on the car. But where is another place that I've been to? I'm trying to think of so many different places. Believe it or not, another place that I actually like their burgers that you would be surprised is Grindhouse.
You said what?
Grindhouse.
Grindhouse. Okay.
Their vegan, their Impossible burgers are phenomenal as well. And just because you can make it the way that you want, you can put whatever toppings you want. You can tell them, hey, I want a medium well or a well done burger, and they make it to T, like exactly how you want it. It's a lot to eat though, because they're kind of big, but it's worth it. It's absolutely worth it. And there's another place downtown. I can't remember the name. It's a vegan pizzeria that is actually really good as well.
Okay. Well, she has given you a guide to vegan eateries here in the Atlanta area. This is Chef Misty. So, what quote do you live by? Because obviously getting into food is not easy. Sometimes, like you say, you make a dish, doesn't come out the way you want it to. What's a quote that kind of helps you get through any obstacles in the kitchen?
Believe it or not, my one thing is that you can't have success without failing. Okay. And you can't be scared to fail, because if you're scared to fail, then you won't push yourself, and you won't be able to achieve things that you'll achieve without that option of failing. And so many people are just scared to fail that they never try and take the leap and a risk. I took my leap and I came to Atlanta 3 years ago, and I don't regret it. And I literally dropped everything, gave family 2 months notice, and said, I'm leaving after I had a severe motorcycle accident.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So it's a thing where it's like, if you don't take that leap and that faith, you won't succeed sometimes, because your fear will take the best of you.
Sure enough. Where can we find you?
Pretty much all platforms. If you go on my Facebook, it's Misty Love or Monique Adams, because I have 2 different profiles that involve my catering. On my Instagram is chef_Misty95. And those are pretty much the 2 platforms that I use. I also have a website that is chefmistyscatering.com. TikTok, I'm not gonna lie, I don't use it too often, so I do not remember my TikTok at all. I'm not big on TikTok. My main platforms are literally my website, my Instagram, and Facebook that they can always find me on.
Awesome. Well, I was your host, Queen Evelina, and that was QEB.